Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. So glad to connect with you again here, whether live or later on the replay. And yeah, also very excited that Natoya Hall is with us on the show for the first time, and I'm excited about both her story, which sorry, let me explain. So uh, so I said I'm excited. I'm really how to say, the first time I read about her journey, I really felt the connection and felt the depth of the message she's bringing, and also the energy and her role in this awakening, because it really shows how powerful the support and how to say in general the energy that she brings, because many times the journey that we've been through really prepares and guide us into our contribution here into in Mother Earth. So and also her message and the work that she does, helping others maybe not reach but connect and remember their mastery and live the daily life, share their light from a higher consciousness. And yeah, so very excited that she's here with us today. And the subject today is the divine star families and the journey back to self. So we'll be talking about that, and also she will guide us on a group meditation. So it will be really powerful. Stay tuned for that. And also later on the call, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask Natoya your questions. And as always, for that, if you are on Zoom app, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And Natoya is an energy healer, activator, writer, multidimensional guide, Starseed, founder, priestess of MOSK, which is mother of Star Keeping Mystery School. And yeah, so with that, Natoya, welcome to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here. I'm seeing some familiar faces. Thank you for showing up and supporting. It's nice to be here.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I shared a little bit maybe about my experience with when I learned about your journey, and I would love if you can share it with our audience as well.
Sure. My journey started from a very young age. It started when I was 16 and I ran away from home. That's when my spiritual journey began. I grew up in a very, strict Christian household, but it never resonated with me. And every time I would go and ask questions about, well, what is God and what is earth? And, I would always be told to go in my place and be a child and don't ask the questions. And I always thought something was wrong with that. So when I first started awakening, I remember it was through a book by Sylvia Brown, The Other Side and Back. And when I read that book, it just opened up my consciousness to, oh my goodness, those are the answers that I was looking for, right? And it just opened me up. And my journey, my spiritual journey began then, 16, that really started to awaken, and being homeless in my early 20s. And really connecting to women and children and men, that really propelled me into my sacred work. And I started to hold like meditation circles where, just to have support for those that, that were homeless, that, didn't have much. It was just something that I loved to do. And it went into me doing that at the university where I was at and where I worked for 13 years. I developed a program called the Goddess Circle that was open to women, trans, BIPOC folks who can come in through being in an institution that was draining them. That was what I could offer, was that 2 hours every Wednesday to come in and speak your heart. What are you going through? And it became really big. And so when I eventually left the university and started my sacred practice, a lot of those beings from the university came and supported. So I've always been a spiritual person. I've always been into source creator. I've always known that there is more than what we've been told here. And that has propelled my journey. And yeah, and then a few years ago, about 12 years ago, I met the beautiful teacher, Judy Satori, who started speaking light language. And from hearing her light language, I completely got activated. And I said, yeah, this is it, right? This is it. I knew there was so much more. This is it. And she activated my divine, because we have, and we'll go into this a little later too, we all have our own unique frequency. We all have our own unique mother tongue, cosmic tongue, right? And so I started to incorporate light language into my healing practice, and created MOSK Mystery School, where I activate the masters, right? I activate those that are ready for the next step in their journey. So yeah, my journey has been a long one, sometimes hard, but I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing, because right now, sitting right in front of everybody, I'm just in the next level of my mastery, and I'm grateful to be here.
Right, exactly. Wonderful. And yeah, tell us also more about, because you have others to activate their mastery. So tell us more, how does this happen?
Yeah, I always, I've always been a person. I always, not all of us who have returned here or incarnated here, we're not, learning anything new. We're remembering who we are. We're remembering why we're here. So it also, when in my practice, I don't see anyone as higher or lower than myself. I see everyone as incarnated starseeds, incarnated master, and I assist in helping with that awakening, right? So that's what I do within my school. Is I put up a mirror in front of my students and say, it's safe to look at yourself. It's safe to be powerful. It's safe to be all that you are here to be, and create your own reality, right? I always say this to my students, and there's a lot of my students here now. Hi, everyone. Right? And I always say this: create your own table. When I first started my journey, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was Hay House. And Hay House was predominantly very white at that moment, right? And the only other spiritual teacher that I knew was Oprah, right? That was all that there was. And I remember my team said, instead of trying to fit in, how about you create your own table? I said, what do you mean by create my own table? They're like, create how you want to show up in the world. And so what I started doing was I started writing, because my background is journalism. And I started writing these energy reports that I would just write down my experiences of what I was feeling at the time. And it blew up. People from all over the world started to email me, started to write me and say, I'm feeling the same things too. And I was like, right. And so, that's been, I think, about 10 years now I've been writing. So that's how my journey began, in creating a school, creating a container where I can assist with, the collective's awakening, the master's awakening.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. And I like that you mentioned that we don't need to fit in. It's everyone maybe can have a unique way of sharing their lives, creating their life, and living their life in general. And
Yes.
yeah, so also because part of that is because you were sharing, like you were receiving guidance from your team, your spirit guides, and this is how to say, it's very essential parts in our intuition, in the decisions we make. And so I would love if you can tell us like about that more, your perspective, maybe your experience, and also how do you see our relationship as humans with those with the
Yeah.
teams? Yeah.
Yeah, very good question. I remember when I first started my journey, I was I was deathly afraid of the other side, right? Because I grew up in a household and I grew up in a religion that said, you know, you don't question anything. And if you look beyond the angels, you know, something is evil about that. And something really was wrong with that. For even as a child, I knew something was wrong with that. So my great great grandfather came to me in a dream, which is my dad's grandfather. And when he transitioned, when I was a little girl, they said that I went to sleep for hours, and it scared them because they're like, I've never slept that much in my life, right? And come to realize that I was actually helping him cross over at the time. So when he came to me as a teenager in my early 20s, and you know, through those years, he came to me and I started smelling mangoes because I'm Jamaican, right? And I remember telling my dad at the time, I said, who is this man that looks like this and this and this? And my dad literally pulled off the road. And he said, there's no way for you to remember how your grandfather looks, right? He goes, you were a baby. How do you remember that? And I said, well, he came to me and he said he's gonna assist me in my journey. And so it was my great grandfather that came to me and said, I'm going to assist and prepare you for your path. And I said, what talking like my path is serious? And he goes, it is. And I said, I think he got the wrong person. You know, and you know, through the journey with you know, starting with my great grandfather, I started to meet my angels. I started to meet my guides in my dreams. And I always say this because this is how I started. I had to get a relationship with them because I didn't trust them. Who are you? Where did you come from? You know, you're my guides. What makes you my guide? Right. And so I spent years forming a relationship with them. I knew how my angels felt around me. I knew how my spirit guides felt and looked around me, right? And then eventually when I started working with my star family, I asked questions. I asked them to come on into the room and give me energy signatures that made me knew that it was them I was speaking to. And so even in my teachings, I really teach about consent, right? Asking permission, because your guides and your team have to abide by your consent as well, right? I made it very clear that I didn't want to talk to any spirit past midnight, like the door closed at midnight, right? And, you know, making up the rules and making sure that I was comfortable. And of course, they're your team. They want you to be comfortable. They want you to be connected to them the best way that you know how to be connected to them. And so I spent 10 years of, you know, just in my spiritual container of just meeting my divine family of light. And so that was the first thing that I did on this journey was I met my team. I understood them. I felt them. And so this is also what I teach in my school as well. It's like, you know, how do you connect with your guides? Who are you connecting with? How do you know you're connecting with them, right? Because we of so many different dimensions and energy. We need to be sure of that. So that's one thing that I really take pride in that I've developed is a really solid foundation with my team. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And also about this connection with our guides. And like you said, it's a process, and
Absolutely.
you spend years to know them well. And what I notice in general, like we may sometimes how to say, maybe like we think that they need to take all the decisions and it's all the solutions come from them, but we forget that we are also involved in that. So I would love if you can tell us about that, and how can we approach our relationship? It's more like a co-creation.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and the decisions don't come from them. They actually work for us, right? I always tell people I work for God first, right? But our teams are family. They're family, they're divine friends, and they've come to assist us in all ways for us to remember, in all ways for us to walk our most authentic path, right? So, you know, get to know them as friends. This is how I see my team of light. I see them as my friends. They're my best of friends, and they don't want anything, you know, they protect me, they guide me, they make sure that I'm always okay. And it's also important for me to connect every day in all ways with them as well. I always say this, I wake up in the rising and I thank today, because I think today is an entity. I think today is an energy, right? I connect with my team of light. Okay, right? I'm such a journalist, right? I'm like, okay, so what's on the agenda today? What do I need to do today? How do I need to connect with myself and then put that into the collective? Okay, who am I working with today? Okay, the Arcturians. Okay, the Sirians. They are master energy healers. I call them the surgeons or the doctors of the cosmos, right? So I know that in my day, I'm going to incorporate some type of healing, right? I always touch base with my team first. Right. And then I create my day and I give them assignments. Okay, today I'm not so energetic. I feel a little low today. I need some energy in order, to be on this show in my best capacity, in the best way possible. And they will be like, okay, we got it done. Right. Make a glass of chlorophyll water and eat this. And this is going to give you nutrients. So every single thing you need, you can connect to your team and they will assist you with everything, whether that's healing, whether that's support, whether that's making you feel maybe you're depressed or sad, right? And you need something to give you joy. They're there for that. So you can, one thing that this 3D world teaches us is that we are small and they are above us, right? And that we need permission and we need to live and be, we need to basically make sure that we are this, person that can be worthy of their guidance. And that's not the way it works, right? At every single turn, they're looking for us to tell them how to assist, right? That's how much they love us. So that's number one, if you take away anything from today, is start to build a foundation and a real solid relationship with your team, because they're waiting for you, right? They're just like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so yep, she's ignoring me again today. Yep, that's okay. Form a relationship with them. They love you. Don't be scared. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. And also another question is how how do we receive messages from them, or how can we discern the message? Because also from my experience, there are times where the messages are loud, sometimes they are subtle, and I learned that by experience because I didn't listen in the past, and I realized that afterward. So how can we become more aware of the messages that we can?
I always say it starts with you and how you receive and how you embody energy. For me, I'm a feeler. I feel everything. I'm an empath. That's my gift. That's my superpower, is that I can feel. I wake up in the rising and I can smell the air. I can feel the air. I can feel what type of energy is going on during the day. So the first thing I will say is, what is your unique energy imprint? Like, what's your mastery? Are you clairvoyant? Are you clairaudient? Like, how do you receive message? Because when you know yourself, that's how your team will start to relay the messages. So for me, because I'm a feeler, I would feel energy or subtle energy around my field when a certain guide would come through, right? And then I would clarify. I said, "Are you on my right side by my shoulder?" And my ancestor would be like, "That's me," right? And so for me, I always say, it first starts with you getting to know yourself, and I know it sounds a little like, oh, really, Toya, I have to get to know myself? Yes, you do, right? Because when you start to get to know yourself, you know how to connect. Because they can be throwing rocks at you, and if you don't know how you take in or receive energy, you're going to miss those rocks, right? So first, how do you connect? What is your energetic imprint? What is your mastery, right? How do you feel energy? And then from there, right? Say, for example, you're clairvoyant. You'll probably see like a movie playing out in your mind. Ask for clarification. is this movie that I'm seeing in my mind, is this, can you explain more to me what it is? And they'll explain what you are seeing, right? I remember when I first started my journey, I would be in the hospital every other day because I did not understand the energies that was moving around me. I thought that I was dying. I thought I was sick. And every time I'd go to the hospital, they're like, nothing is wrong with you, right? And I remember that they're like, go home. One time the doctor's like, go home. There's nothing wrong with you. And I remember walking home from the hospital that day, and I was crying because I was so frustrated. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what is this? And the moment where I said, you know what? I surrender. Whatever happens, happens. It was that moment that I started to really connect. And they said, you are an energy healer. So you will feel and decipher energy through your body very intensely. So then what I started doing was, when I started feeling energy moving and coursing through my body very intensely, I said, one, is this mine? Out here, a yes or a no, right? I said, okay, if it's a no, whose energy is this? Well, you just went to the mall and you absorbed like 50 different energy signatures in front of you. Whoa, okay, so I can't go to the mall and not put like at least a little bubble around me. Got it. Okay, well, how do I heal this? And they would show me like techniques of how to, sit on the ground, sit on the land, touch my back to a tree and let the magnetic field of the tree suck out any and all energies, right? Then I would get introduced to certain team members who were my healers, right? Like the Arcturians or the Sirians. And I would ask them to come on in at the end of the night and perform energetic surgery over me, meaning they will pull all cords out, they'll pull all energy that I might have absorbed from my body. So you begin to form, this is what I mean by you form a relationship, so you know how to talk to your team so they can assist you with perfecting how to connect with your energy, right? And like I said, real quickly as well, consent is everything. A lot of times you're trying to hear your guides, but you haven't given them consent, right? If you want them to drop something, well, you haven't given them consent, right? Can I do this? Right? Is this for the highest light? Is this for my highest good? Right? Consent is everything. Entities or energies cannot just come into my home without my consent, right? There needs to be clear boundaries, right? So set up clear boundaries. Okay, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I am willing to hear this, and this. And then from there on, I close the door and, or crack the door. So that is now closed. Create your own relationship and how you want to receive. And then when you start to trust that, you start to develop relationships with your team, right? It becomes like you putting on clothes every day, right? But you have to begin to build it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really interesting. And
yeah,
I really love that. And also, I had a question that I forgot.
Sure.
But yeah, let's see. Let's start taking questions from for the clearance, maybe later during the Q&A for
Okay.
yeah. So also because part of this the connection with our star families and also connection with our mastery is the journey back to self. And sometimes when we especially in the beginning, when we start our spiritual journey, we want to see the results really fast, and we want to see the shift happening really fast. So how do you see that journey? Is it because many times we try to have an end goal so we can reach that goal and we feel that's we did something. So how do you see that journey happening for us?
The first thing is that it's a journey, it's not a destination, right? I think a lot of us in the spiritual community, at least I did when I first started, I was like, okay, so when I go through this, it's going to end and then everything's going to be great, right? We are here in this lifetime not only to remember our sacred connection to the all, but everything that comes into our life is a sacred contract, is a sacred decree, right? Is it going to be rough sometimes? Absolutely. Is it going to be hard sometimes? Absolutely. I've been there. I was going through my spiritual journey while being a homeless woman sleeping on the street. So, and I still saw God in that. I still saw spirit in that. I still saw how it was preparing me for who, I was to become, right? So the first thing is, understand that you are here for the journey, and everything on your path, everything in your journey is awakening you to your spirit, awakening you to your path, awakening you to your divine, I always call it like the divine remembering, right? Everybody in your path is reminding you of who you are. Right. And I always say, like, this is what it's about. It's about remembering who you are. And it's not to take away the tough time. It's how to work with that in an energetic and grounded way through those rough times. Right. And then when you really start to work through those rough times, you really start to see, well, maybe it's not really that rough. Maybe it's trying to get me out of something. Maybe it's trying to make me realize something. Maybe it's trying to put me back in my power. Maybe it's making, maybe that person who's giving me a hard time is really teaching me how to have healthy boundaries. Oh, maybe my parents are not who I really think they are, but maybe they're my master teachers showing me how to create my own way, teaching me how to step into my own power, right? I always say that my parents, I grew up with some really horrendous stepmothers, and when I started to heal, I realized that they were my teachers. And I understand that because of that, if I did not go through what I went through at that time, I couldn't be sitting here in front of you, because that developed my personality, that developed my strength, that developed my spiritual journey. That was the reason why I began my spiritual journey, was because of my family, right? So, it's just really realize, I think sometimes we just want to finish it. And then if we finish it, I can step into ease and grace. But what if your intention is ease and grace? So you understand that everything on your path is showing you exactly what it takes to reach your highest command, your highest embodiment, right? Change your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love your answer, and also it answers the question that I had before, which was in the times where we feel that urgency of receiving the guidance from our team, like right away, and this happens especially when there is a lot of fear. Maybe it can be related to health, finances, or anything in our life. And also what we do in general, it's we try to control the situation. And also, even when we receive help from others, it's some way we reject it unconsciously, because we try to control everything. So what is your advice in those specific situations?
The way that I see it, I see that you do control everything, right? I feel like, and that's the thing that religion and 3D kind of shows you too, that you're not in control of anything. Right. And I don't agree with that. I believe that you are the conductor. I believe that you are the teacher. I believe that you are the all, right? You are God in walking form. So you're controlling everything. And the first thing for you to do is realize that you're God in walking form, and realize that you can actually weave your reality in the way that you can weave it, right? But what that usually takes a very honest look at ourselves. And a lot of people don't want to look at themselves like that, right? A lot of people don't want to look at their behaviors. A lot of people don't want to look at their shadows, right? A lot of people don't want to look at their fears. They're frightened of their fears, right? And I always say, when you begin this awakening journey, you have to take an honest look at all of you. Right? Look at the ways that you hold yourself back. Look at the ways that, you don't completely see how brilliant you are, how powerful you are, how capable you are. Realize that you are the conductor, and that everything here, even to this moment, was created by you. Every single person here, you put here. Right? You put here. So when you start to look at your life as the conductor, as the one that's creating, or have created this moment, you start to be like, okay, well, if I'm the one that created this, that means I'm the one that can change it. Okay. Right? And then the power starts to go back into you. Then you start to take your power back from the system, from colonialism, from patriarchy, you start to take your power back from it all and start to really root yourself in knowing, okay, so if I'm the conductor, let's play. Right? Play, have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Natoya. And
thank you.
Carmela, she wrote, how do we look and work through our shadow and darkness?
Good question. You know, one thing is I will never say not to look at your shadow and not to look at your darkness. It's necessary. Excuse me. Right. And the number one thing when looking at our shadow and looking at our darkness is looking at the trauma that began it all. Right. What trauma did you go through as a little child? And I always say, start there. Start with working with your inner child. Start to work with that 5-year-old. Start to work with that 10-year-old. Right. Because the shadow and the darkness began there. Right? Where, you know, you were told, oh, it's just your imagination. Stop thinking that. You're not really seeing that. It's just in your mind, right? All the ways that you were blocked as a child to be creative, to tap into the all, right? What happened in your life where, you know, you couldn't step into your full power? Did someone take that from you? Maybe a teacher, maybe a parent, you know, maybe a family member did something to you. So really working with that inner child. And, you know, you can just close your eyes and put your hands on your heart and say, higher self, show me where this shadow began. Show me where this darkness began. For a lot of us, you know, we will see a lifetime within this lifetime. For a lot of us, we'll start to see maybe many different lifetimes where that shadow or that darkness came from, right? You know, were you really poor in a lifetime, and now in this lifetime you're rich, you have money, but you don't know, you connect evil to it, you connect, you know, scarcity to it. Why is that coming up? Ask the whys, right? And just know that there's nothing wrong with you because of your shadows. Your shadows make you, right? You know, your shadows and your darkness are worthy of your attention. They are worthy to be here. They are worthy to be looked at, right? So that's the number one thing. Look at your inner child and where it started, and take away the systematic conditioning that something is bad with you because you feel this way. It's not true.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Natoya. And also thank you, Carmela, for your question.
Thank you, Carmela.
Do you prefer to do the meditation now or later at the end of the call?
We could do it a bit later. We could answer some more questions. Okay. Yeah. Because it's going to be a little bit intense.
So, yeah. So, Tanya, can you please unmute yourself?
Unmute? Sorry.
Yes.
Well, I believe from very early age, I was different, and I always wanted to help people. I didn't know how, but I wanted to help people. But I was surrounded with conditioning. Like, I was so conditioned that I grew up to believe that I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, and I'm this and that. And of course, when I was told that I'm a starseed, and I didn't believe, how do I step into my power? So to believe in myself that I actually have some things that I always had it, but I somehow lost it. I think maybe I didn't lose it, but I don't know how to use it. So how do we get out of this stupid conditioning? Because we get into families where, you know, they say, oh, you're this and you're that, and then you start believing these things, you know. And even though I worked a lot on self-love, and I understand that I'm divine consciousness and with divine powers, but literally, how do I use it, you know?
Yeah. Great question. And I see that you also said you're Andromedan starseed as well, right? I love Andromeda. Have you begun to have a conversation and a relationship with Andromedans?
No, I haven't, because I'm looking online for a group starseed. So I follow them. I haven't found my group to be, to have conversations.
Okay. Have you, when you meditate every day, or when you are by yourself, how do you tap in to hear the Andromedans? Or do you have a practice where you do that? And I'm asking for a reason too, right? Because
I have usually answer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Answers come with me, and it like a thought. Like if I think I'm having questions and I receive answer like in a thought. So sometimes I think, is it my thought or did it come? But usually I have messages through my dreams. So in my dreams, when the mind doesn't kind of interfere, I always, and I have very, I know heal them, but still, I wanted to be a healer. I wanted, I still wanted to do the YouTube channel with my kind of to share with people my way, and I'm procrastinating, and I think it is fear of not being good enough, or people not believing in me, because I probably don't believe in me, in myself.
Right. You point out some great things. And so as you're speaking, there's a couple of things that are coming out, right? One, your team is asking for connection, right? A lot of times when I first started on this journey too, I looked outside of myself for everything, right? And some of that did work sometimes. I remember, and when Facebook first started, I remember there was a group of like 5 of us that were talking about the same thing, right? And now I manage that group for years, and now it has over like 60,000 people. I'm not part of that group anymore, but when we first started this whole awakening journey, I was looking for some type of group to tell me that I was okay. And through my journey, I realized that I had to sit down with myself and really start to have a ritual, a communication. How do you connect, right? And so you're probably thinking, well, what does that have to do with my self-worth? And what does that have to do with me believing in myself? Well, if you are not connecting and don't know how to connect with your spirit, connect with your team, there's no relationship to self, right? So you have to begin to get to know yourself on some type of level where you begin to trust yourself for other people to trust you or listen to you. Right? No one listens to me because, oh my God, I'm Natoya. No. Right? It's because I've worked on myself so much, where I've worked with those parts of me where I was told most of my life that I wasn't good enough. I was told most of my life that, I was not wanted. And I had to really work through that trauma. And that means I had to sit in front of myself and really get to know myself, really start to get to love myself. And I know it sounds like, oh, okay, right? But it first begin to, you have to form a relationship with yourself, with your team that connects you. What is your daily ritual? Every rising, you should spend 20 minutes just sitting down with yourself, right, Tanya? Sitting down with, who are my teams? I call in my most divine, benevolent teams to sit down with me, show me myself, work with me, right? Let me see myself fully. And from that relationship, other things will start to open up for you. Other paths will start to open up where you can express yourself in the world in a certain type of way, right? But it has to be, what I'm hearing is there has to be a relationship to yourself first. Right? And how you show up for yourself. What's your relationship to yourself? Right? Do you trust yourself? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And from that relationship, other things will start to open.
Yeah. So since I started working, I don't meditate now as often as I would like. And I know that I need to find time, like take it out of everything that I need to do and meditate more often. You're right.
Meditation changed my life. For 7 years, Spirit put me where I couldn't get a job. I couldn't, I was I was volunteering at the university at the time. Like nothing was happening for me. So literally for 7 years, I had to wake up and meditate. And I would meditate for 5 minutes up to hours. And so I developed a practice where meditation became everything, because when I knew how to silence my mind, it opened me up to receiving all the message from the universe, all the message that was coming around me. And I started to really trust myself. So even when I put myself out into the world and I didn't know something, I would go back inside myself and said, how does this feel? What is this that I'm trying to see? What is this trying to teach me? I would always come back to the original source, which was me, right? But you can't do that without a practice. You can't do that without a connection to self.
Okay. Thank you, Natoya.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Natoya. And there is a question on the chat box from Dada. Can Natoya please check for me on my very high sense of smell? I have incredible ability to smell even when others don't pick up the smell I do. This is not fun in air polluted location I am in right now. What is this gift about, if I can call it that? Thank you.
Yeah, so you're a clear smeller, right? Which is amazing. So one of your superpower is that you pick up on smells very intensely, and that's how you sense your world, right? Yes, is it a bit annoying? I'm sure, right? Because you smell everything. You smell what others don't smell, right? You pick up on the frequency of smells, right? So the number one thing is to always make sure that you're, your equilibrium, that you're grounded and that you're balanced inside your body. That's one, right? And your question is, I'm just kind of reading, what is this gift? And if I can call it that, it is a gift, right? A lot of energy healers have that gift. The name surpasses me now. If one of my students can put into the chat box what the name is for me, what Claire that is for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. It is a gift. A lot of healers have that gift where they can smell cancer, where they can smell disease, where they can smell, I remember even with some of my clients, I can smell when they're about to get pregnant. And like, you're about to get pregnant. They're like, no, that's impossible. And sure enough, like 2 months later, like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, I sensed it, right? So it is a gift when it doesn't scare you, right? When you can tap into, what am I feeling? I also sense with you that you sense between dimensions, you sense between timelines. So you can probably sense, nefarious energies, lower vibration energies. Hospitals are probably really hard for you because you could probably smell death in the hospitals. You can probably smell the diseases and imbalances. So, really asking, your higher self, please slow this down, or please, when I'm in an area where I need to pay attention, please don't let this overwhelm me. So you can kind of like turn down the dial with it a certain type of way. But you have to ask this, right? Remember, your guides work for you. They don't know unless you tell them, because they also have to follow free will. They can't do things just to do things for you. You have to ask for that, right? So, asking your teams and saying, this is too much. Can you just lower the frequency of my nose, lower the frequency of how I'm taking this in? And then you begin to work with it. And then, if you are somewhere where, I really need to smell the vibration of this place, if you are a healer, and if you're not a healer, I would think about the practice of healer, because as I said, most powerful healers that I know are incredible sensors, right? They can sense their client's body, they can sense their client's energy. So really work with it. It's an incredible gift to have, and not a lot of people have it.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you very much, Natoya.
Yeah.
And also, thank you, Dada, for your question. And Catherine, she said the name is Claire Lyons. Natoya is the one that taught me that.
Thank you.
And have Linda, I would love to bring back my vitality, my enthusiasm, and excitement to life. I was always a child at heart and loved life. How can I get back to this exuberance and deeper connection with my team once again? I would love anything that comes through with this. They seem to want me to ask you. Much love, light, and gratitude.
Beautiful. Thank you, Linda, for asking your beautiful question. I think a lot of people in here would want or need to hear that as well. And, when the joy or happiness has left us, we have to Here's one thing I realized on my journey. I realized the happiness and the joy that was really great 5 years ago for me may not be the happiness and joy that I need now, right? And so the first thing is to look, one thing that I see, or I have seen in my journey, is that a lot of us carry the old ways in which we receive joy. A lot of us carry the old ways in which we want to experience love. A lot of us carry the old ways that, was meant for one part of our journey or one part of our cycle. So I always say, are you carrying something that's old and worn out that doesn't resonate anymore? Or are you building a new foundation of what joy and happiness is to you? What is vitality to you? Are you happy with your life, right? And if you're not, which you're saying like you want that back into your life, what ways are you showing up for yourself or not showing up for yourself, right? What's your, how does love show up in your life? And how, how does love not only show up in your life, but are you still attaching to an old way of how you perceive joy and happiness and flow, right? With you, Linda, what I'm actually picking up on is that they want you to let it go. They want you to let go of the bag, of the bag. They want you to let go of the past. They want you to let go of the old, right? Get to know yourself. Who is Linda in this moment, right? And I had to do that in my life as well, where I'm just like, well, 30-year-old Natoya really loved this, and this, and this, but 41-year-old Natoya doesn't like that anymore. Or, she's learned a few things or two from that time, right? My description of what happiness is has drastically changed as well, right? So get to know yourself in all the new cycles of your life, because you're not the same. You don't require the same, right? Maybe in this part of your life, you need to move. Maybe in this part of your life, maybe you need to move your body more, right? Get the energy moving in your body, right? Maybe in this part of your life, try new hobbies, try new things, give yourself those things. Also receive differently than you've been receiving as well, right? Change up the linear, change up what you've always done. That's what your team is showing me. They're like, shake it up. They're showing me like, tell her to shake it up, right? So whatever that means to you, reintroduce yourself in this new version of yourself, and I always say this to a lot of my friends too. Even one of my girlfriends just had a baby and she's like, I just don't know, I just feel completely different. And I said, how about you reintroduce yourself? Because you're not the same person. So who are you in this embodiment of your new beginning, right? And then you're going to realize that what made you happy has changed, right? And do some energy and move your body too. Moving your body also brings new energy into our body. Massage, self-care, hands-on massages, ways to release energy or stagnant energy out of our body is very, very important.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much, Natoya. And thank you, Linda, for your question. We have feedback from Dada. Thank you so much, Natoya. Yes, I do energy healing as well. Beautiful. And receive my body energy. Amazing. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And question from Vivian. What is my next step in life to focus on, please? My family is in crisis. Love, Vivian. Do you need more details or is it enough?
Yeah, can you explain to me again? Sorry, I didn't.
What is my next step in life to focus on, please? My family is in crisis. Love, Vivian.
I would have to go a little bit deeper in that. It's a little bit too bleak for me. Like, what is the next step? I always say this as well, that, sometimes the crisis is the redirection. Sometimes the crisis is the redirection. Sometimes when something comes into our life to shake us up, that's the redirection that, we've been asking for. Now, does it come in a way that you probably, is sometimes I always tell people there's nothing wrong with toxicity or crisis. Sometimes that's the way that we move out of something. Sometimes that's the way we see the healing or receive the healing, right? And if your family is in a crisis, I would, greatly sit greatly sit with knowing that that the crisis is moving or redirecting you into a new, right? And it's almost like, I want to say this, but I want to be very careful with this as well. Sometimes our answered prayer is in the crisis, right? And the crisis is what moves us out of what we've been asking to be moved out of for a very long time. I remember when I used to go through crisis, I used to be like, oh my God, I'm being punished with this crisis, right? I'm being punished by this happening in my life or to me. It's happening to me, right? What did I do to deserve this, right? It doesn't work like that. The crisis is what's going to propel you into the next stage of your evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Natoya. And yeah, thank you, Vivian, for your question. So Linda Girard, thank you so much. That resonated so fully within my whole being. Excited to begin this. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Also, Vivian Girard, thank you. Yeah, Destiny, she left, so I wanted to take her on later, but yeah. So yes, so now I would love if you can tell us about the program that you are offering to our audience. And we have 2 packages, one that includes the New Earth Chakra, the New Earth Chakras series, and then the Rising, the Day Rising Meditation Activation. And the package, the second package includes the first one plus 45-minute intuitive private session with you. And I invite everyone to visit the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natoya, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natoya, Natoya. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, and also the link on YouTube video description. And I will also put it on the chat boxes. So yeah, so Natoya, I would love if you can tell us more about that.
Yeah, the rising meditation got created through my rising ritual, right? When over the span of 25 years, I've realized that when we set our intention as we arise, it's so important, right? It sets the tone for the day. It sets the tone, as a creator, you start to create your day and be conscientious of what you're doing and how you're creating. So with the rising meditation, I go through, or I guide you through how to connect with the day. Connect with the day like the day is your friend, like the day is an entity, right? So I always say, as you arise, say, thank you today for having me. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me, right? How do you want me to arrive in my fullness today? How can I show up in my full embodiment? And also you can ask today for healing. You can ask today to show you to the right people, to align you to what you need. This is part of really returning back to the power of self, to the power of being a creator here, right? So within this morning or rising meditation, I guide you through that. And then I do an activation to open up your senses so you can sense your reality and feel your reality. And I've gotten so many feedback from that. I've been told by many people that meditation is amazing. They start their day with that. I start my day with that, right? I do it myself too, right? So that's the rising meditation. And then the new earth chakra, which all my students know, because I actually have a class where I work on not only balancing your 7 main chakras, but also attuning your chakras to hold new earth energy, or to rebalance your energetic centers. As we are going through our evolution and our ascension, our bodies are changing, right? Our bodies are holding different types of energy. Our body is holding more light. And if our body is holding in more light, that means the energy vortexes in our bodies have to change. And with the new earth chakra, I bring you on a journey with each one of the 7 main chakras. And we not only do clearing and healing with the foundation of those main chakras, but then we jump and we activate into those chakras being embodied in a new dimensional way to receive more. So with this, it will drastically assist you with walking on your path in a more embodied energetic way. So those are the two powerful programs that I'm offering within the show.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And then
Thank you.
and then the 45-minute 101,
Yes,
as
one-on-one.
you know, I offer that as where we connect. It's not a reading, but it's where we can connect and we can talk. Because what I've realized is I didn't have anyone to talk to when I was going through when I was going through my awakening. There was, like I said, there was no social media. We had pagers. Okay. You would page the cosmos, right? Like there was nothing. We didn't, so you had to begin to trust yourself because no one else was talking about, feeling buzzing in the body or feeling vibrations in the body, or no one was talking about that. So I created consultations if something is going on within your journey and you just want someone to talk to, someone to show up for you and direct you in the most aligned way. That's what the consultations will do.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. And I totally agree with you. Sometimes we need someone to discuss things in our life who can see things from a neutral point of view, and also from their experience and their expertise, and also their gifts. They can help to guide and give more clarity about that. So thank you so much for that, and also for the program, for the it's, as you mentioned, I think earlier, it's part of the MOSK Mystery School, the package A. So yeah, very grateful to you, Natoya.
Thank you.
And again, so everyone, I highly recommend that you sign up to one of these two packages, and you will find them again on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natoya, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natoya, NATOYA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. And the link also will be on the YouTube video description and on the chat boxes as well. Yeah, so do you feel it's the right time for the meditation?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's begin.
Thank you.
So as we begin this meditation, I want everyone to just close their eyes. If you can't close your eyes because you're driving or at work, that's also okay. Just relax your body as best as you can. Taking a deep breath in from the solar plexus, from your stomach. 1, 2, 3, deep breath in. And in your own timing, out. Do this 3 more times for me. And as you do this, relaxing the shoulders, sinking into your seat, into your bed, wherever you are comfortable. Breathing is one of the ways that we transmute energy in our bodies, that we balance our nervous system, our immune system. And as you do this, I want to call in on the divine 4 corners of north, east, west, and south. I call in on the elements of water, fire, air, and earth to support us. I call in on our most benevolent divine teams of light. That could be your angels, your spirit guides, your divine star families, your well ancestors, your divine familiars, your dog, your cats, whoever you want to bring into the sacred container. Today, I want to call in on my most divine, benevolent Arcturians, who are the master healers of the universe. And as I call in on the Arcturians, I'm going to start to speak the language of light of my soul. And like I said, we all speak light language. Babies speak light language, gaga goo, before we assimilate them to earth. So as you hear my tone, as you hear my frequency, it may do something for you. Listen to what comes up. Is it fear? Is it joy? Is it a remembering? And as I call in the Arcturians, I want you to sit with their energetic imprint, with how they feel. How does it show up in your body, in your senses? We are welcome in the Arcturians. And as the Arcturians come into the room, I want you to take a moment at how you feel in your body when this divine star group comes in. This is the divine star group that aids in healing surgeries, in balancing your mind, body, and spirit. How do they feel? Take a moment with this now. And as you take a moment to feel their energetic signature, open to them to anything that needs healing in your auric field, in your body. You can simply say, divine, benevolent Arcturians, I heal this imbalance in my womb space, in the womb space of all genders. Maybe I'm having issues or problems, or something is coming up with how I create here. I'm not feeling guided or creative, or I'm having issues around abundance, and I don't feel balanced in my body to create the way that I know I could. Asking the Arcturians to go into your chakras, your energy field. One thing with healing is being ready to give up what you've been holding so tightly onto. Are you ready to receive clarity? Are you ready to receive balance? Are you ready to receive what to do for your next step? Because that is also important in creative work. And as you start to feel the energetic signature of the Arcturians, keep this in mind as you connect with them later. Thank you, Divine Arcturians, for coming through. Thank you, Divine Arcturians, for assisting. And now ask you to leave the room, the space of all involved in this ceremony. Feel how that feels when they leave the room. Does your energy feel maybe light or airy, or how does it feel? Keep notice of this. As we call in on the Sirians, the fifth dimensional Sirians, for our highest good, calling in the Sirians now into the room. The Sirians are the one in charge of creating the human body. How you look right now, how you function is due to the Sirians. It's actually the Galactic Federation of Light, but the Sirians were given the job to create the new human genome, to create the new human embodiment. So I find them really great when you're going through your ascension journey and you are wondering what is happening to your body. What is this new feeling? What is this new energy? What is this new gift being birthed through you? They are the ones to call upon and ask for help, for advice, for clarity. How do they feel as you enter this room? How do they feel in your energy vortex? Some of you may see gold light as they come on through. Some of you may feel heat generating through your body. trust and know that you are safe. This may feel new for some of you. Trust that they will never go too far where you are worried or fearful. I want you to welcome the Sirians in to scan your body. And let them start at your feet, scanning your body, going up to your feet, to your knees. And wherever your consciousness stop, I want you to take note of that, letting them scan your body now. Where is your attention stopping when the scanning is going on? Is it stopping on your pelvic, in your stomach, maybe your heart, your lungs? Is it stopping on top of your shoulders? Maybe you're feeling it in your head. Wherever it is stopping, I want you to now give permission, if you are guided, to let the divine benevolent Sirians heal that area in your body, to give you balance, to give you information, knowledge that can assist you for your greatest and highest good. Let them do that now. Finding that balance. Beautiful, beautiful. Some of you are a little apprehensive. That's okay. This may be new for a lot of you. That is okay. There's no wrong or right way to feel here. For those of you that have been working with this energy through my school, through your own practices, receive this clearing now. Some of you might be feeling extreme calm and like you want to go to sleep. Be open to receive for your highest good. You are safe. You are guided. You are protected. And lastly, I want to call on the divine Lyrans who are 12 dimensional. So for some of you, it may be easy to tap in or feel. But before I call them in, I want to say thank you to the Sirians for being here, for introducing yourself to those that are new to working with star beings of the divine light. Thank you, Sirians. I now ask you to leave the spaces of all involved. Until next time, until we are reconnected, feeling how it feels in your body as the Sirians leave. And this is what I was talking about with developing a relationship with your team. Start to call on them into the room to see their energetic signatures. How does your mind take to them? How does your body take to them? Good. And as they leave the room, coming back to neutrality, coming back to your own energy, we call in on the 12th dimensional Lyrans. I call the Lyrans the grandmothers, the one who weave dream time, who weave divine creation codes. The Lyrans are the one that assisted in creating your path They're the ones that assisted in creating your journey. Your blueprint for this life and many and all lives that you've had. I want you to visualize around you a group of grandmothers encircling you and dancing around you. And as they dance around you, be held and supported by the divine grandmothers. And as they dance around you, I want you to speak to them like you would speak to a loving, gentle grandparent. Speak your wishes, your worries, speak your wants, speak your fears. What is it that you want to create in this new embodiment? What is it that you want to create in this new energy? What is it that you want to release and let go of? And as you're talking to these sacred grandmothers about what you want to release and what you want to bring in, I want you to also ask them to assist you in helping you be rooted into this new life you are wanting. I want them to assist you with your nervous system, with aligning with the new wants that you want for your life. You cannot want a new life with an old nervous system, with an old way of seeing yourself and being embodied with yourself. Be open to receive now. Aku takasakuti katani sakotru aiki. Tasakadesa nasakati kati sakadasa kutadatsa natahotosi katasa nuta ikadasarate santakri akna ikutus otiki. Tasakotru nasakti asanus kotru katu kidana ikni give it. Give your fears, give your worries. Know that they are supported. But this new timeline has to want to be created through you first. Be willing to let go of the old now. The old way that you have been doing it, the old way that you've been receiving it, the old way that you've been looking at it, the old ways that you've been hanging on to it. Know that you are safe to release. And that it is safe to receive the new as well. Kasakatrosa katana sikatula tisata kuta kutisa ati asakutro ikikatata. Asakatru ana sakatu tikata sakatro ana asakati kana desana semenda sanilla kana sakati sakatares naiki asano sakate dana sanala gededes nidi ikda nu asakata sanu tukatro asaku 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 asaku. I want you just to spend a couple seconds here, feeling into this energy, grounding into this energy. Receiving. You are worthy. You are divine. You are loved. Oh, you are so guided. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy of peace, of gentleness, of happiness, of joy. Receive now. Receive. Thanking the divine grandmothers for assisting with your weaving. Until you meet with them next time, asking them to gently come out of your field. Until you connect with them again. Coming back into your body, your energy, this moment of space and time. Taking a deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in and out. Thanking our divine star families for coming through and assisting with this activation. Know that you can begin your relationship with your divine teams of light. And as you come back into this moment of space and time, I want to relay a message that I've been getting to receive or to tell each one of you for this container. So when you are ready, slowly start to open your eyes. Come back into this moment, fully grounded, rooted. Take your time. Your vision might be a little sharp. Your senses might be a little high or on. So take your time, drink some water. I want you to look around the room and just call things out, call your plants out, just move your hands, look around the room. What that does is it brings you back into center. Beautiful. And if we have time, Monsaf, I wasn't sure if we had enough time, but I would love to hear what some people received from that. I would love to see what some people felt from that. But one of the message that's very clear and that I was picking up as I was getting ready for today is to be aware. There's a lot of energies going on right now where there's false light, and I don't even like that. I don't even like that title either. But there's a lot of energies that are using like spiritual names, you know, because what are the beautiful names right now? Activations and energy, and you know. Right now, in a year 7, we're seeing a lot of illusions. We're seeing a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon of spirituality. We're seeing a lot of that. And the message is, if you are trying to decipher what is truth and what is not, return back to the body. The body is your pendulum. The body will make you feel what is truth and what is not within your body. And if you're like, well, Toya, I don't know how to decipher that, then the work is coming back into your body and connecting to your body, trusting your body. As you begin your journey, you're going to begin to feel throughout all space and time. And what's important for you to decipher all the spaces of time is to return back to your body and let your body tell you the truth. But you're going to have to trust your body first, okay? That was the main message that I wanted to bring in from. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was really, really helpful. So thank you for that message.
Thank you.
So everyone would love to hear your feedback about the meditation. So Vivian shared your words of calming, stimulate a smiling memory of joy.
Oh, beautiful.
And Shashu Dawkins, thank you, Natoya, for that meditation and light language. I felt really, really tired, which shows me to take some time to process in stillness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dada, this was amazing. I felt such beautiful energies with each family, lots of energy buzzing and itching in the body. Thank you so much, Natoya.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Carmela, so powerful, lots of release. And Carmela and Martin, sweet transmissions, many thanks, many blessings.
Thank you.
And Christine, love you. Love you for this discussion.
Love you.
Thank you, Christine. For me, it was what to say. I felt especially with the Arcturians, like the energy field was really expanding, like really in a big way. And then with the Sirians, it was more, how to say, some parts calming and also like strongly grounding. So that was the experience I had.
Yeah. Sirians are very grounded, I find, for myself too. I find them very grounding. Yeah.
Fiona, thank you, Natoya. So calming, peaceful, and bless you.
Thank you.
Tanya, I felt the energy moving through my head. Linda,
But
oh, yeah.
I just want to say, if you feel it moving through your head a lot and it makes you feel uncomfortable, just ground your body and it will start to move from the head and come all the way down. Yeah.
And Linda, I feel such a calm and yet so much in expansion. Love the connection with the grandmothers. Love you.
Thank you.
Rebecca, Sirians going through my body like Rolodex.
Hi, Becca. Love that.
Yeah. Tanya, no, it was a nice feeling.
It was nice to fly, right? I know.
Yeah.
Good.
Mary, can you unmute yourself?
Hey.
Hello, Monse, and
Hi,
hello, darling.
Hi, my love. How are you? It's nice to see you here. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this, both of you, and your teams, and our teams, everyone present. It does have an impact, everyone, every single person who's there. It was amazing, the distinction between each. It's the first time I can pinpoint, and just so the Arcturians, I literally felt like quantum streamers between all my selves in my body, very much at work.
Oof.
It was a deep internal journey. And then the Sirians, it was all my throat.
Oh,
Like it's like there was a spark in my heart, and then it went all in my throat. So I'm like, they want me to use my voice to share.
Yes. So that means your purpose or what you're here to do is meant to be activated to the world, right? So they're getting this ready to hold space. Yeah, it's your time. You need to be heard. Stop playing small.
Well, it's going big in 2 nights from now. I'm gonna be a volunteer translator for Deva Premal and Mitten in Quebec City.
That's huge.
Yeah, think. And it came from a guy who I've been twice to his drum circles. And yeah,
Wow.
Cœur de Géant is his drum's name. It's a 6-foot long drum that kind of lays on top of a massage bed, or you can put it up like a painting. So Cœur de Géant means heart of the giant. The giant's heart.
Love
so it's pretty special. And last time I saw him, I said, we're so not done. We still have you have a big role to play in my sacred journey, you know, and
beautiful.
A week and a half later, this happens.
Blessings. Yeah, I love them as a couple. I love what they do with frequency. It's going to be an amazing time. Yeah, so divine.
Yeah. And then in the past, I was told by someone very dear to me that I originate from Lyra. And it's weird because I never really felt a connection with the feline. I was like intimidated, not knowing how to, like, here on Earth, the feline. And when I was young, we went to a zoo in Europe somewhere, and a jaguar peed on me. Yeah, in a zoo. I don't remember this, but my mom told me this. So it's very interesting. And I got 2 major jerks, like body jerks. Like, well, the first one was on my right foot, and then the other one in my thumb, my right, like the meaty part of the thumb. It's like I got stung, like injection of something, or
by the Lyrans.
Yeah, and it was really.
Yeah, sorry? You definitely come from, you definitely do come from Lyra, or you've had many lifetimes in Lyra for sure. Yeah, you really work good at creating things. Don't knock what you get, right? If you're getting to like pushed or guided to create something, I always say this, my students know this as well, like, especially if it's not out there yet, and you're like, well, I don't see it out there, so it's probably wrong. I'm probably not meant to do it, right? That's when you're meant to do it the most. So whatever inkling or, you know, that you're getting to create something that's unique, that's them. Yeah. And
Thank
ask
you
for
for
help.
that.
Ask for help. Yeah. If you're like,
Every day, every day.
yeah, right? Yeah. And then receive, because you are worthy. You know, you are good enough to create it, right? Get out your own way type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just the blanket of grace that the Lyrans brought also, but that I already felt it in the past. But yeah, the blanket of grace was amazing, and I love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. As the garbage truck is going around, right? I don't know who that's for, right? I don't know who that's for, but you know, everything's a message. So whatever you need to throw out, the garbage truck just came.
Yeah, lots on the go.
I love you, sis. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary. And also thank you, Natoya.
Thank you.
Yeah. Catherine, she wrote, thank you both so much. So beautiful. And she added a heart. And Dada shares very interesting experience. Mary, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Natoya, really thank you so much for all the time you spent with us, the guidance you gave us, all of us, and support you gave to our audience. So grateful to you. It was really inspiring and very, very helpful. So I really loved the call today. Thank you.
I'm so happy. Thank you for having me again. I just wanted to say that today I opened the container for cohort 8. As most cohort 7, all my cohorts are in here. All my beautiful students are in here, masters. If you feel guided, all information will be there. But if you feel guided to come into MOSK, into the school, to really have a profound 12 weeks of really going in what we did today, times 1,000. If you're ready for that, I welcome you. Yeah.
Wonderful. So yeah, I love the number 8. So this is the 8th one. Thank you very much, Natoya.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. Thank you for being part of this, and also everyone.
Thank you so much.
Dada, great call, myself and Natoya. What a great energy. Blessings to you all. Thank you, Dada. Yeah, so thank you again, Natoya, and also everyone. Thank you so much for co-creating with us this really amazing experience today. Really loved it, and thank you for your energies. And again, you can find the 2 packages that Natoya is offering to us on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natoya, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natoya, Natoya. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. And the link also will be on YouTube video description. And yeah, so yeah, just we have Irieta on YouTube. She wrote, beautiful meditation. I felt so calm that I slept. Thank you.
Good. And if you feel like sleeping afterwards too, that's great. Go and take a nap, sleep, and let it integrate the way that it needs to. And probably that's your team wanting to go even deeper with you. So take it easy for the next few hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Irieta. Shashu, thank you, everyone. Join MOSK if you feel called. Yeah, so again, everyone, thank you very much. And I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.